guys, Hot Rod Reverend here. Just installed an Auto Meter 2304 tachometer on the steering column for the Y block. And let's go ahead and get to the install and some of the details. All right, I got a 2304 Auto Meter tach here. And we're going to put this in. This isn't top of the line, of course. It's chrome, but it's plastic. And then it's got a plastic mount. So the trick's going to be trying to figure out how to mount this on the steering column. This is probably where I want to go. I've already went ahead and clocked this a little bit more to the right. It's going to sit on the steering column kind of like that, if that makes sense, because I've got that dummy shaft that goes on the length of the column. I'll show you that in a minute. But what I've got on here now is just some shrink wrap. I'm going to shrink wrap it all the way up to the cup and get that on there. And I've already tested this out. It works fine. The light, and then also the tach itself. So it'll be pretty decent. The instructions on these things are always pretty straightforward. It comes preset from the factory, ready for an 8-cylinder engine. Like I said, I've already tested it with alligator clips, so it works just fine. But the red's for power. The white lead is for lights with your dash lights. Green is for that negative lead on the coil. And then black is obviously for your ground. So in case you didn't know all of that, got a handy little wiring diagram here. And kind of simplistic to hook up, but I just have a pointless ignition, so it's not a real big deal. But if you got HEI or something like that, there's some other things in here that you need to keep in mind about how to hook it up. But really, it's not that difficult. On the back, I don't have a shift light with this one, but it did say something about dial rotation, which I've already taken it apart and rotated it a little bit because of the way I want to mount it, cocked to the side on the steering column. I'll show you that in a second. Then of course it shows you how to mount that plastic base right here, which is the one little screw and a nut. And let me show you what's on the column so you can understand what the issue is about making a mount. The kit does come with some limited hardware. It's got a grommet to put through your firewall if you need that. And then also 3 screws, and there are 3 black lock washers that need to be inserted through the top side of the plastic bracket. And I've got this mounted here temporarily, but there's another lock washer for the nut and the screw that holds the tack to the little base here, little bracket. So now to build something for this bracket to go on the steering column. All right, so what I did was, you may recall if you look at some earlier blog posts or videos, I had actually made a dummy shaft that goes in here, which with the 3-speed on the column or Ford-O-Matic, this would have been your shaft that would have shifted gears or put in a different gear for the Ford-O-Matic. Obviously, I just got zip ties right here right now with the wiring that goes from the turn signal, and that the reason for that is this is a 55 dash with a 56 column, so it doesn't quite match up either one, either the 55 or 56 that has the sheet metal piece, little channel that runs all the way back. So I've got to figure out how to get that installed, and I got to modify and do some cutting and welding and all of that. But the basic idea here with this thing is it's meant to just mount on a standard column, probably something from GM, I don't know. But that won't work with this dummy shaft, of course, and that means it's going to be cocked to the side. My thoughts was just to cock it off to the side here, but then that makes it look kind of strange when you're looking at it from here. And I need to have it kicked up a little bit. I'd like to have it like this, if I can. that may make it a little bit interesting in how to mount this. I'm not sure, but we are going to play with it a little bit and see. I might have to make a sheet metal plate or something to go under there. I don't know, but let the fun begin. Okay, so after looking at this, with the way those tabs come down on either side, at the bracket where the holes are at right there, it might indeed be easier to make something that is not offset as far as the bracket is concerned, and have it attached right there, and just with the torque hold it down to that dummy shaft. I'm gonna have to clock this back center, and then when I'm looking at it, my eyes are up here, I'll be okay as far as the tack goes and the rest of what I've got up front. So we may end up going that route. Okay, I think what I might end up doing here, this hole's already here at the back of the bracket. I'm probably gonna put another hole up front. Use those two holes to go ahead and drill and tap onto my dummy shaft. I can't remember what the wall thickness is, but if memory serves, it may be just thick enough that I can tap those holes. And man, that'd be great. And just use that. So let me see if we can't get to work here. I'll probably need a special tool. I can't drill unless I got my right angle tool, most probably. And I think I'm going to have to remove the steering wheel, of course. And now we have a nice fourth hole in here, but those would be the two holes that we use to put this bracket onto that. All right, so the first thing to do to get these holes oriented or transferred over to the dummy shaft correctly is to go ahead and mount the bracket to the tack like it's supposed to be, and then put it in position. I got a pencil here, I'm going to mark it. So kind of simplistic, but the basic idea is to I'm just going to mark where that bracket should be, and then remove the tack from the bracket, and then drill the holes. And you can see we've made a mark there with our pencil. All right, since we're going to be drilling on a shaft and I don't have a chance to put it into a drill press, just going to use a scratch awl, obviously sharp point, and then a hammer to give myself a little dimple for the drill bit. All right, it's pretty much mounted in position, and looking right beyond my eyes, this is where I sit to drive. So I think it's a good shape. But at any rate, one thing I had forgotten was that there is a boss, as a stud that dummy shaft slides onto, and it's solid steel, and boy, the hardness level is just ridiculous. So I didn't drill that second hole. Of course, I got the first hole tapped and everything, and that screws in there. But probably what I'll do is I'll make a black brace, maybe, or a bracket to go underneath of here, underneath of the dummy shaft, and just connect to those two holes right there. There's one on either side, and that may end up working out. But pretty good, and relatively solid, although the plastic, it gives a little bit here and there. So I'm gonna, before I crank it up, I'm gonna go ahead and make all the ends that we need here, attach all this where it needs to go. And then for the meantime, I'll probably just use a zip tie until I figure out how I want to get the sheet metal channel all the way down to column finished. So I did add an orange wire there coming off, and then just wrapped it with the tape, and then went over to the other side so it looks pretty clean, other through the grommet, and out to the green lead from the tach. All right, now for the moment of truth. Well, lights come on. That's right. Let's hit the switch, see if we got power, and yep, it goes to 0. So let's fire it up. And looks like we got juice. Turn the lights off. I'll let this thing warm up again before I start goosing the accelerator. This engine is as cold as it can be. All right, now that we're warmed up, let's watch the tach move. One of the things I like to do once I know I've got the whole works wired up correctly is I will go ahead and take and put this in a sheet protector and put it in one of my binders. It keeps all my wiring diagrams, all the information all together on this car.